So, you want to get into the high stakes world of chip design? Well, let me tell you, being a tech genius is really just the price of admission. Today, we're going to dig into the stuff that actually sets you apart, the skills that take you from just being good to being absolutely indispensable.
All right, first up, let's just wrap our heads around the sheer scale of what we're talking about here. The semiconductor industry, the engine behind, everything from AI to self-driving cars, is on track to be a $1 trillion industry by 2030. That's trillion with a T. The growth is just insane.
But, with that kind of crazy growth, there's always a catch. The industry is scrambling to find over 1 million new skilled people to keep up. This has created a massive global talent shortage, which, for you, is an incredible opportunity if you know how to play your cards right. Okay, so that sets the stage perfectly for our first big topic, the trillion-dollar challenge. We've got this massive opportunity on one hand, and on the other, this huge talent gap that companies are absolutely desperate to fill.
I mean, think about it. These chips, they're literally the invisible engine running our entire modern world. But here's the thing. As the industry booms, the fight for the top jobs gets tougher and tougher. It's not enough to just be good anymore. You have to find a way to stand out. Which brings us perfectly to our next section, mastering the technical baseline. Because look, before we get into the secret sauce, you gotta have the basics down cold. These hard skills, they're your ticket to the game. They're completely non-negotiable. So really broadly speaking, chip design is kind of split into two main camps. You've got front end, which is all about the brains of the operation, the logic, what the chip is supposed to do. And then you have back end, which is about taking that brilliant design and actually figuring out how to physically build it on a piece of silicon. You really got to know which side of the fence you're on.
And it doesn't matter if you're front end or back end, you absolutely have to be fluent in the industry standard tools. We're talking about electronic design automation, or EDA software. Knowing your way around software from the big players, Cadence, Synopsys, Mentor Graphics, that's just expected. It's baseline. Okay, so you've nailed the tools, you get the design flow, you're all set, right? Well, is that really enough to build a standout career? This is where things get really interesting. And that right there leads us to the real heart of our conversation today, the professional skill differentiator. This is about those so-called soft skills that, honestly, are the true game changers. They're what turn a good engineer into a great one. Let's break it down real simple. Hard skills are what you do. It's the coding, the physical design, the stuff you can learn from a book. But soft skills, that's all about how you do it, how you talk to people, how you work on a team, how you tackle a problem when you don't have all the answers. And look, in the VLSI world, these are not just fluffy buzzwords on a resume. Just picture it. A single chip design can involve hundreds of engineers, spread across different teams, sometimes in different countries. If the communication isn't crystal clear, you could be looking at a mistake that costs millions. Without killer teamwork, these massive projects would just fall apart. Simple as that. Yeah, but hey, you don't have to just take my word for it. Let's actually see what the top companies in the world are saying. What are they really looking for? All right, let's start with a big one, NXP. Listen to what they say about their internship program. They're not just looking for tech skills. They explicitly say they focus on enhancing critical soft skills. That tells you everything. Building these skills is a core part of how they find and grow their best people. And it's not just them. It's the same exact story over at Synopsys, one of the giants in the tool space. They talk all about thriving in a collaborative environment. Why? Because they know the really big, hairy problems in this industry get solved by teams, not by one lone genius in a corner.
And you know what? It's not just the companies that are waking up to this. The whole ecosystem is changing. Universities are getting the message loud and clear from the industry, and they're actually changing their engineering programs to match.
I mean, you can see it right here. Look at schools like Guru Graham University or the JB Institute. They're putting it right in their curriculum. Teamwork, project management, leadership. These aren't electives. They're core outcomes. This is a direct answer to what the hiring managers are begging for. Okay, so we've established the why. We get it, these skills are crucial. Now for the really important part, the how. Let's build out your career success blueprint. This is your practical, step-by-step guide to not just building these skills, but proving you have them so you can land that dream job. It's a pretty straightforward 4-step plan to make you stand out. First, you need to build real, project-based proof that you can do the work. Second, you have to quantify your results on your resume so people can see the impact you made. Third, get your online presence sorted out. And last but not least, you've got to practice talking about your work so you can present it with confidence. Let's talk about that portfolio, because honestly, it is the single most powerful tool you have. It's so much more than just a folder of files. It's you telling a story. For every project, you lay it out. What was the problem? What was my clever solution? And what was the outcome? When you do that, you're proving you can problem solve and communicate. It's real, tangible proof. And that really brings us to the big takeaway here. In a market this competitive, yeah, your resume might get you noticed. It might get you that first call. But it's your portfolio that's what gets you hired. It's the proof of all your skills, the tech stuff and the people stuff. So the real question is, what story is your portfolio going to tell?